couple of days says the Coast Guard is deploying every available resource to respond to the plane crash near D.C. American Airlines, or American Eagle, Flight 5342, they've given a statement saying it was en route from Wichita, Kansas to Washington, D.C., DCA. It was involved in an accident at DCA. The flight was operated by PSA Airlines with a CRJ 700, and they have now confirmed there were 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board the aircraft. It goes on to say, our concern is for the passengers and crew on board the aircraft. We are in contact with authorities and assisting with emergency response efforts. And I want to bring in Mark Meredith, because Mark also has this statement, but it's important to kind of get a feel for what is happening on the ground there as American releases the statement. Is it changing anything with the actual rescue effort? Are they changing teams? Are they bringing in new teams? Is there a different strategy based on the temperature of the watermark? Are you learning anything about what is changing and not changing about this rescue effort?
Trace, I sure am. Moments ago, we've learned that the FAA has issued a ground stop for Reagan Airport at least until 0500 tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Now, there's not a lot of aircraft that would normally be leaving out of this airport in the middle of the night, but that is the indication here that there's going to be a ripple effect from this crash, not only, of course, for those people who are on board, but for anybody that's trying to get into D.C. or out of D.C. tomorrow. As you mentioned moments ago, American Airlines, on behalf of their regional carrier, put out their first formal statement about this crash, confirming there were 60 passengers on board the CRJ 700, as well as 4 crew, and believed to be 2 pilots, a pilot and co-pilot, and 2 members of the cabin crew, 2 flight attendants. They've also set up a 1-800 number so that families that are looking for information, maybe either on the Wichita side or here at Reagan National, and that number, just as we're reading it here, 1-800-679-8215. And that is the number for American Airlines if you're trying to get information about this specific flight. You were asking, Trace, moments ago about the search and rescue effort underway. We are here on the Virginia side, just south of the runway here. And the indication from what we can tell is the search and rescue is happening on the other side, the D.C./Maryland side of the Potomac. But what I am seeing, Trace, is the multiple helicopters that continue to search over this area, looking for any sign of either survivors, debris, or any indication of what could have happened either from the helicopter or this regional jet itself. These helicopters have been flying about 300, 400 feet. As I'm looking down, they have their searchlights, and they've been going right up against the actual coastline of the Potomac, kind of going back and forth, sweeping formation for at least the last hour and a half. But we haven't seen any of those helicopters get very low. You're not seeing them at like 50 feet, 100 feet, where they would be dropping people in or trying to get people out. Instead, they've been keeping their distance as they're about 300 to 400 feet up above. And we'll be looking to see, obviously, as more air resources will be coming in, likely more helpful after the sun rises. But the news, again, that we're seeing is that Reagan Airport is going to be closed overnight tonight. Not really a surprise. We're still waiting for a formal news conference from either the NTSB or the FAA, or even the folks that run the 2 major airports here in D.C., the one at Reagan National and Dulles Airport itself. As I look across the Potomac, though, I still see the searchlights as well as the emergency vehicles on the south sides of the 2 runways that would be this area where this would have happened. And I've seen the number of emergency vehicles, Trace, grow exponentially ever since being out there. When I was racing out to the scene myself, I was shocked to see how many police cars, ambulances, fire trucks were racing in from all over the city. So certainly it was an all-hands-on-deck situation. But as I look across the Potomac,